The following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
This week on the Defy Life Podcast, the guys preview Super Bowl 55. They talk about some Chad Wheeler in the NFL. They also talk about the Knicks and the Bulls in the NBA. And as always, they answer a listener question and wrap things up with a round of trivia. All that and more. Let's get it. Yeah, that's what it is. I guess we got to do it then. You all right? Check. Pool. Money. West Coast. Let's get it. Strap in, let's take a ride. Oh yeah, it's about that time, right? Been waiting all week to get to this. It's finally time to defy life. Let's chop it up, keep it trail, no other way. That's what we do. We might disagree, but it's all love. Guarantee we gon' speak the truth. Yeah, this hit different. My guys with me, now who's with us? Stick around for a few minutes. It's contagious. You'll get it. You downloaded the realest. Don't feel us, forget out. You not rocking with Defy Life, then what's your life about? We'll say Defy Life. Told you. Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. This episode is sponsored by Bud Bottles, home of the Bud Bottle and the Bud Freshener. Please visit budbottles.com for your odor eliminating needs. This is episode 186. Y'all come on in, wipe your feet, close the door behind you. I'm your host, J.R. Glenf, joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Alvin Glenf, Thomas Stevens. What's good with you, Al?
Man, listen, it's Super Bowl week. I ain't got a Super Bowl party to go to. Don't even feel right. Like, damn. How do you do a Super Bowl party in the pandemic? That's the question. And, you know, it only came to mind because as I was riding home from work, yes, I'm driving back and forth to work again, but that's a whole nother story. As I'm driving back from work, I listened on the radio to a club talking about they doing a Super Bowl party this Sunday, and I was like, super spreader. Like, wow,
right.
Who's doing Super Bowl parties at clubs? They didn't mention nothing about COVID, no wear masks, nothing. Just, we open up at 12. Come on, dude.
Damn.
I was like, wow, okay. But, man, good to be here. Good to be with y'all always. And, you know, what's good?
Absolutely, man. Good to have you here. Good to be back. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Pooh, what's good?
Man, nothing much, man. I can't really call it. I'm just happy to be back. You know, good to be online with you fellas, man.
Good, man. You know, everybody out there, we know we missed y'all the last couple of weeks. I know y'all missed us too, but you know, Pooh was taking care of family, so we wanted to give you that time, brother. We love you. We missed you, but it's good to have you back, man.
Appreciate it, man. Ditto.
No doubt. Yeah, man. I mean, as Al mentioned, it is Super Bowl week. It does not seem like I guess to anybody that's not a Bucks or Chiefs fan, it doesn't feel like that. So, yeah, man. Before we get too strong into the show, as always, I want to give a shout out to our patrons. You know, everything that we do is for and because of you guys. You know, we always like to make sure that we're looking out for y'all the way y'all look out for us. People are always asking us, what is the best way to support the network? Go to patreon.com/GoDefyLife and become a patron. You can help us support our growth and also allow us to host events and continue to work in our communities. For less than your favorite fast food combo, you can support Defy Life. So check us out again at patreon.com/GoDefyLife. You can also check out our written content at the granddaddy of them all, the original GoDefyLife.com. You can also check out our podcast hub at DefyLifePods.com, where us and all of our fellow podcasters here at Defy Life house our content. And you can check out our branded apparel at DefyLifeGear.com. definitely check that out. We got something for every season, for every reason, and for every person. So y'all check us out. And anywhere else you want to listen to us, you can find us on, for the free 99 at your favorite podcast platform. Al, did I cover everything?
Man, on point, bro. Not bad at all.
Word. I feel like
job.
Dion Woodson out here covering so much. Yeah. I feel who was the pool? Fred Smoot. We said 70% of the earth is covered by water. The rest is covered by Fred Smoot.
Talking about other than Dion?
Yeah, didn't Fred Smoot say that?
90.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Fred Smoot was the original saying that. I think Dion upped it to 90. But Fred Smoot was in college. That kid said 70% of the earth is covered by water. The rest is covered by Fred Smoot. Yo, that's the coldest. That's ill.
That's not bad at all.
Nah.
When Dion heard, he said, dude, if Fred Smoot covering 70%, then yeah, give me 95.
Right, exactly. So leave it to Dion. Yes, I ain't create this shit, but I'm perfecting this saying.
I will perfect it.
Right. So, but yeah, man, appreciate it. So before we get into anything too deep, because I know we're gonna discuss the Super Bowl in depth. You guys heard about this Chad Wheeler story from the NFL?
Was that the
offensive lineman from the Seahawks?
Seattle Hawks. Yes, I did.
Yeah. So Chad Wheeler, offensive lineman from the Seattle Seahawks. I'm familiar with him because I remember scouting him when he came out of Southern Cal. He was I think he was like a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. Never really lived up to that standard, but he did make it to the league. So he's he lived up to something. For one, just by definition of position, he's an offensive lineman, so a lot of people don't know about him. And then too, he's not like a frontline starter in the NFL. He's a utility lineman. So again, a lot of people don't know about him. So I'm not making excuses for why a lot of media networks are not covering this like they should be, but a lot of that has to do with why. Now, also a lot of it has to do with the fact that he's an affluent white man in America, and he kind of got away with some shit that a lot of us wouldn't. So he, a couple weeks ago, decided to he got into an argument with his girlfriend, who was black, and choked her out and attempted to kill her. Really, really tried to kill her. Choked her out, suffocated her on the bed, and left her there to die. Well, he left her because he thought she was dead. He left her on the bed, thought she was gone, and he went into the other room to watch TV. A while later, minutes later, she comes out, staggering and gasping for breath, and he looks at her and literally says, "Oh shit, you're alive." And just kind of and just kind of leaves her to be. But yeah, so he attempted to kill his girlfriend, literally, and she made it through. And I guess at that point he wasn't mad anymore, so he let her live. First of all, he was able to make bail after she, called the cops and reported it, and he was able to make bail. The Seahawks did not cut him immediately until there was kind of a backlash on Twitter. They finally cut him after 3 days. And, so, of course, he's out on bail awaiting trial. And when the cops came to get him, he fought the cops. The tasers had no effect on him. He was throwing cops off of him. Took them upwards of 20 minutes to corral him and get him into the cop car. And he was throwing cops off him. They said they tried to taser him. It had no effect on him at all. He was inebriated. But, again, he got away with a whole lot of shit that a lot of us would not get away with. None of us on this call would get away with. So that's the ins and outs of it. Meanwhile, over the last week or so, did y'all hear about the 9-year-old girl in Rochester, New York, who got tased while in handcuffs and pepper spray, right? All that because the cops couldn't get her into the car.
No, you're right. She got pepper spray, not tased.
Right. She got pepper spray. because the cops couldn't get her into the car while she was handcuffed. And sometimes I hate to try to compare apples to oranges in this because it was two different locations, literally across the country, two different police departments. But it's the microcosm of how things work a lot of times in this country. A little black girl has to get pepper sprayed, in handcuffs in order to get her into the vehicle. Meanwhile, there's a 300-pound offensive lineman who gets pretty much the exact same treatment. You have to tase him in pepper spray. Like, what is this telling us that you can't handle nobody? That's the biggest gray area between suspects I've ever seen in my life. So first of all, back to the Chad Wheeler situation. Pooh, what are your thoughts on that? And will he ever see another down in the NFL again?
No, it's going to be too much backlash. So no one's going to touch him. If it wasn't for that, the backlash, I'm probably sure someone would bring him in, and he's not even an overwhelming stud. So they would bring him in. It's just, we know that's what that's the America that we live in, man. Like you said, that should have been covered left and right. That should have been plastered all over the networks, all over papers. But due to the fact on who it was, it's not showing any publicity. When I saw the article, it said Wheeler, fought his girlfriend. It didn't say he strangled her and intent to kill her. It was a light statement on the situation. The magnitude of it, they didn't specify. Like if it was reversed, there would have been, Jameson James attempted to kill his, that it would have been in bold print, attempted to kill. But they just said that, Wheeler, fought his girl. He was upset and he fought his girlfriend. And that's what they were saying. But I'm totally not surprised. Nothing surprised me any longer. I hate that. I don't think they should let him out on bond, man. Who knows what that cat might do. He has good flight risk. He has money. He's just you saw that he's able to snap at any moment and that he can kill someone. Or he can attempt to kill someone. So I can't see how they granted him the clemency to even have bond.
Yeah, I agree. Al, what are your thoughts on this? And like, not even should he play another down in the NFL? The fact that what are your thoughts on the fact that he wasn't even charged with attempted murder?
Yeah, I definitely don't think he'll ever play a down again. I think it speaks to, when you hear people talk about the systemic injustice, I think both of these cases are great examples of why the system works in favor of some people and against others. And I think you're just seeing it play out that way. So to be a white male who in this country is at the top of the food chain, you get treated, the system plays a certain way in your favor, which means you're not going to get treated all that harshly by the cops. You're going to probably, out of all the people in the country, white males probably get treated the best by police. And then the opposite is you see the young black female who getting treated extra harshly. And I just think that's just what I think of when I see those cases, is that when people talk about it being in the system, I think you're seeing it play out that way. And it's just because people get treated differently. And this is just a great example of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we talk about the little girl in Rochester, like, again, that's a microcosm of how we have to operate in America. Is black kids are not allowed to be children. They're not allowed to be kids in the full spectrum. And then as we get older, We talked about this before, where as black men, we're not allowed to access all of our emotions, and neither are black women. But we can only speak from our perspective. So I've been a child and I've been a man, so I know how that feels to not be able to have access to all of your emotions without having that fear of being labeled angry or unstable or fearful or intimidating. So we've all been there.
When just a month ago was the insurrection, and people talked about the treatment of the rioters and how it would have been different if they were black. And so to me, like, as these two incidents are just great examples of how law enforcement treats people differently. And so when people were saying that back then, some people got it. Some people were like, really? I don't know. Well, here's another example of it. Like, if that football player was Aaron Donald,
right,
he might be dead. I'm not just, just throwing it out there. Literally, he could be dead. Police might have shot him. And then the same side, if that 9-year-old was a little white girl, somehow I don't think she's getting pepper sprayed. No, I don't. I would bet my money that it would not happen like that.
Right. I'll bet she wouldn't even got cuffed.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Yeah, she wouldn't even got cuffed.
Oh man, but kudos to you, Mr. Wheeler, for showing us the class of the grade of asshole you really are. Because regardless of what we said is his girlfriend's black, and she is. That's just a fact. But regardless of what color she is, to do that to a woman, I hope they throw away the key and just let you rot because you deserve it.
Right.
Word.
So, y'all want to jump into the preview now of the Super Bowl? Let's get straight into it.
Unless y'all want to talk about the Cowboys.
Let's talk about the Super Bowl then. So, well, first of all, I do want to congratulate you, Pooh. Your Bears were able to land J.J. Watt.
Wow.
Yeah, y'all didn't know that, did you?
No, I missed that. I missed that as well.
Okay, look at y'all. Y'all needed that.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm only joking.
Man, get out of here.
Wow.
No, I was gonna let it pause, but y'all jumped
playing
on
with my emotions, Smokey.
Y'all were able to land J.J. Watt in a blockbuster proposed trade on the Bears website.
No, that's almost as good.
Yeah, it is. So I mean, they did break it down and show how it could work, but and how it's a possibility, and now the Bears may be in running for Watt. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of play with your emotions, like you said, and give you some hope, man, because he did say he's ready. If he's ready to go, and he's ready to Chicago if they want him, he'd be ready for him. So yeah. But yeah, so Super Bowl 55, right? Is this 55? Yeah, it's 55. LV 55 is right. 55. Yeah, okay, cool. So we got Tom Brady and the Bucks, the first team in NFL history to host the Super Bowl at their own stadium. Leave it to Tom Brady to be setting more records and all kind of shit. You got enough records. They take on the defending champs, Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are the favorites in this one. They did beat the Bucks earlier this year, 27-24, in a game in which the Bucks scored the final 14 points to make it look closer than it really was. But again, that was a whole half season ago, which is an eternity in this league. Al, first off, we are gonna go advantage, disadvantage. So when the when the Bucks have the football, we're gonna go Tampa Bay's offense versus Kansas City's defense. In the running game, advantage, disadvantage. Who you got?
In the running game, I would give the Chiefs the advantage.
Okay. Passing game, who you giving the advantage?
The Bucks.
Okay. All right. Pooh, same to you. Running game, the Bucks running game versus the Chiefs run defense. Advantage, disadvantage. You Allen?
Did you hear me? Oh, I was Allen.
You were definitely Allen. First
advantage.
First of the year.
First the Al. First the Al in 2021.
Right. It's gonna be a trivia question.
Advantage Bucks run game.
Okay. All right. And passing game, we should go on Bucks or KC's pass D.
I like KC's pass D, but I give it to the Bucks as well.
Okay. So the one thing y'all disagree on is Bucks is the running game. Bucks running game. Pooh, you feel they have an advantage. Al, you feel the Kansas City has the advantage.
I like their running backs. Fournette definitely has shown up, in the playoffs and late in the year. I think he's a great addition. I just don't have a lot of faith in their offensive line to get the push on the Kansas City Chiefs. That's all.
Gotcha. All right, Pooh, what are your thoughts behind giving the Bucks the advantage there?
I like they run D. I think their run offensive line, production is better than their pass production. I think they move people off the ball in the run game, actually.
Okay.
Well, especially in latter part of the year.
Gotcha.
Not in the beginning of the year, but I don't know, because Jones was really putting on a show after like week 2, week 3. Week 3, so they move people. They move people in the run game.
Okay. Yeah, and it's so tough to tell with Brady in the passing game because historically Brady makes offensive lines look better than they really are because he's so crafty in the pocket. He gets rid of the ball so quickly that, unless you just pressure them right up the middle, he's going to make your offensive line look better pass protecting than he does, than they really are. So I can see it. So we're going to flip this. So, Pooh, when Kansas City has the ball, their running game versus Tampa Bay's run defense, who has the advantage, who has the disadvantage?
Oh, man. I give it to it's stifling, man. The Bucks run D is Bucks.
Okay. All right. And Kansas City's, I don't know. We got to ask this question. KC's pass offense versus Tampa's pass defense.
Kansas City's pass offense.
Yeah. Al, Kansas City's run versus Tampa Bay's run D.
I'm agree with Pooh. Actually, I'm gonna agree with Pooh on both of those. I'm gonna go with the Kansas City pass offense against their Tampa Bay's pass defense, and I'm gonna go with the Bucks D against the run versus Kansas City's running game.
Okay. All right. Can we all agree as well that the Kansas City pass offense and the versus the Tampa Bay pass defense is probably the biggest gap we have in any of these matchups?
Now that I'm going to just because of the pass rush, like secondary. I think they got a really good secondary. Don't get me wrong. I just think the Kansas City Chiefs passing offense is just off the charts. But again, the Bucks secondary is strong. Right. But I think what even makes it a more narrow gap to me is the pass rush versus an injured Kansas City offensive line. So that's where I think the gap is just going to be a little closer. And I honestly think this is going to be the best matchup of the Super Bowl, Kansas City's offense versus Tampa Bay's defense. I think that's going to be the best matchup. Yeah, because I think it's closer than people think, especially with the injured offensive line.
Right. Yeah.
And I really like the Bucks D. I like the pass rush. I like their coverability. I love their safeties, their young safeties. Their corners are extremely scrappy. However, like if you can get anything past top rated or 10, Kansas City is just above that. Like if you can go higher than an A+, Kansas City's offense is better than an A+. So and like I say, the Bucks defenses they're phenomenal. They're probably top 10 in pass, top 3 in run D. I think 1, but their Kansas City's pass offense is just so good. Nothing. You gotta put 2 people on Tyreek. You gotta put 2 people on Kelsey. Then they spread you out. They have 4 threes all over the field. Now they can run the ball because they're playing 7-on-7. And they have talent at the running back position. So it's tough, man. It's just daunting to be able to do anything with those guys.
And you didn't mention that they got Pat Mahomes as the quarterback. Not that you forgot about him.
Right.
But like when you got all of that and an amazing passer with great arm talent who has not got rattled from my observation at any point in his career.
Right.
Like to me, that's what's so like this guy is going to go head to head with the GOAT. It's going to be fascinating because when it comes to that poise, that competitive spirit, he right there with it. And so I'm looking forward to that matchup. But I think to Pooh's, just to amp that Tampa Bay defense up again, don't forget their linebackers. That linebacking core, one of the best in the league.
Maybe the best in the league.
Right. So every level of defense, the Bucs are bringing it. But
they are. And let me tell you, but as a Steelers fan, I got a lot of experience in this, is having talented linebackers and how easy it is for good offenses to take them out of the game.
Okay.
Because linebackers I always believe are the best athletes on the field. But you can know, like they're not masters at anything. Most of them aren't. So unless you find like as good as White and what's his name, the other one,
Alexander, isn't it?
No, Quan Alexander's gone.
He's in with the Saints. I'm tripping.
Yeah.
That kid's name.
Damn. And I hate to shorthand him, but I'm blank right now.
Me too. I know you. Yeah, we know that.
Right. I hate to shorthand him, but
because he's a baller.
Because he is.
No, he is.
And we all know what White can do. However, a team against there's no way you can leave them both on the field at all times, because they're gonna get killed in coverage. And all it takes is one play against somebody like the Chiefs. You get one of them dudes, and as good as they are, out on get them in a mismatch against Kelsey. You get them in a mismatch against Martin, the little fast cat from Georgia. All it's going to take is one play, and that's a touchdown. Boom. So it's easy, relatively speaking, to take linebackers out of a game, to take great linebackers out of Levante David. I was like, I knew it was some plain ass last name. I just couldn't think of it. But they can be taken out of the game as great as they are, and that's one thing that that Andy Reid and his offensive staff can do, is to mismatch the hell out of you and take advantage of it. They will keep running the same concept from different looks until they get what they want. And so that's what's scary to me, is that offense has a way of taking away your strengths as a defense.
True that. Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. It's gonna be fun to watch. Plus, you got really good coaches going up against each other, and so I think that's gonna be an interesting. Good staffs. I think it's gonna be a well played game, a fun one, and I'm just looking forward to it.
Right. So let me blow y'all's minds right quick. Right. I guarantee you I'm about to blow your mind. So I'm leading into something that's going to absolutely blow your fucking mind. All right. So shout out to Rob Gronkowski. Gronk is maybe arguably the greatest tight end in NFL history, right?
Right.
Years of success and accolades and accomplishments and performance in New England. First year in Tampa Bay after a year of retirement. But he's already established himself as one of the greatest tight ends in NFL history. On the other side, we have Travis Kelce, who people like to call mini Gronk sometimes. People like to say he's on his way to becoming what Gronk has already established, right? Mm-hmm. Did y'all know these two dudes are the same age?
Who?
Travis Kelce and Robert Gronkowski are both 31 years old.
Man, get out of here.
I lie to you not. Look at him.
No way.
Yes.
I'm not like.
How old was Kelce?
Yeah, I believe that.
Like 26?
I have no idea.
No, he's been in the league for a minute. He was just. You got to think.
He was low key.
This is Mahomes. How many? What? Mahomes has been in that year.
But he was good with Alex because
that's my point.
Alex,
that's
the only person Alex threw it to.
Yeah. That's my point. He predates Mahomes.
Yeah.
He was one of the best. He got the name the young Gronk, or not even probably the young Gronk because
mini Gronk.
He's the same age. Right. He was balling in though. He's been balling for a minute.
You're right. I guess the thing that kind of blew my mind more was Gronk's been doing this for so long. Yeah. You would think he's older.
Yeah. Right.
Like not they like Kelce 31 makes sense to me. Rob Gronkowski at 31 just doesn't.
Yeah. I just thought how much success he's had.
Right. And
games he's watched him play.
Punishment he's taking too.
Yeah, and he came into the league and just there was no ramp up. He came into the league and took over.
Just ripped it. Just as a rookie. Just ripped it.
And when you think about it, like the whole Aaron Hernandez thing seemed like it was a while ago. Him and Hernandez came in the same year. So it seems like
wow.
Yeah.
First round, third round, I think.
Gronk was a third rounder because it's back. No, Gronk was a second rounder. Hernandez was the third rounder.
Okay, second.
Yeah. But they came in the same year, and you would think that it's been so long since that happened, but nah, Gronk's just 31. But he was 20 years old when he came to the league, 21. So it's just weird.
Shop. Yeah,
right.
He wrecked shop.
Yeah. So
both
yeah, exactly.
He and Hernandez.
Mm-hmm. So that just kind of blew my mind that Rob Gronkowski and Travis Kelce are the same age. I don't know, like that was just weird to me.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, again, Gronk has been a hit sensation, playing in the Super Bowl, showing up, making the big plays, being in the media. Like he seemed like he'd been around for so damn long. Yeah, that's crazy.
It seems like there since how old is Gates? Like I just equivalent Gronk with Gates to me.
You put him in that tight end class, Gates and Heath Miller and Jimmy Graham. Like I'm thinking Gronk like 34 at least. Like
me too.
He's on the young end of that class. But no.
Wow.
So
wow.
Yeah, man. So I mean, we talked about that. So who's your X factor? You mentioned the linebackers. You mentioned, we mentioned Hardman. We mentioned anybody. Al, who's your X factor in this game? Who's one guy who people may not be thinking of that can be the difference in this game?
I'm going with what's the second wide receiver? Hardman?
Yeah. Hardman for the Chiefs? Okay.
Almost like third
wide receiver. Mm-hmm. That's who I'm going.
Well, he'll be third now because Watkins will be 2 probably. And then DeMarcus Robinson is hurt. He's out for COVID. Yeah. So
Robinson out?
Yeah, Robinson's out for COVID, they announced today.
Oh, wow. Bro, you supposed to have been in a cocoon for the Super Bowl.
For real.
Yeah, right?
So they didn't say if he tested positive or it was just that he was around somebody who tested positive. They didn't say, but he's as of now he's out. Yeah.
No,
I think
that would be right.
if Tampa Bay follows Poole's defensive strategy of doubling Tyreek and putting another body on Kelsey, that means them other wide receivers are looking out for big plays, and I think Sammy, that he gonna get their best other cornerback. So I'm looking at Hardeman to really have the matchup like to where he's looking across the field like that guy right there can stay with me. Like, yo, everybody know it. He cannot guard me and give me 1 or 2 plays and I'm out.
Right, and with that kind of speed, that's all it takes. 1, 2 plays, he can make a difference.
I'm out.
Yeah. Pooh, who's your X factor?
That's what I'm leaning to Hartman as well. But it to me is difficult because I've been looking at the Bucs' philosophy for the last few weeks, and it's been okay. No one's gonna get behind our safeties. They've been playing 2 safeties deep the entire time and just giving them underneath. So I want to say Hartman, man, but I think I guess we all got the home names, but I think Kelsey gonna have 13, 14 catches.
Right.
Tyreek probably gonna have 8 because they're gonna give up everything, try to give up everything underneath, and they're gonna play their safeties back because that's what they did with the Saints and that's what they did with the Skins. Then they did it the game before that, like the last 7 games of the season. That's what they've been doing. Okay, we're not gonna let anybody get behind us. So we're gonna make them earn it, and we're gonna pretty much depend on them to make a mistake. They're not gonna have 13, 14 play drives on us without turning it over. So that's what they're gonna hope. They're not gonna let them deep. But Tyreek, who's gonna prevent Tyreek from running by you?
Right.
And with Hartman and that, I just think it's daunting, man. I don't. But like I said, I would say Hartman because. They're gonna definitely flow the safeties to Tyreek, and definitely Hartman can sneak by. But like I said, I think Travis gonna have 15 catches, man. 15 catches, maybe 100. Like really, that's what they had last week. So
the challenge with trying to keep everything in front of you is if you miss a tackle.
Right.
Oh, good night.
Good night. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
Good night. And the double move.
Right. That's what I said. The patience. Right.
Yeah.
And the fact that we've seen people do that to Kansas City. As explosive as they are an extremely patient offense. Like you don't see Mahomes trying to take stuff that the defense doesn't give him. He will nitpick you all the way up the field and then boom, explode one on you. So they have no problem doing that. And then you mentioned those 2 rookie safeties for the Bucs. How patient can they be as youngsters, not trying to creep up too far and trying to get nosy and in plays that they ain't got no business in. Against an offense like Kansas City that offers a lot of mismatches and motion and is really tricky on the eyes. It's going to give you, how patient can they be?
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see.
And I think if I'm Tampa Bay, I really might consider trying to get them to pass a little further down the field, only because to me, you have the advantage on the offensive line. If you make them throw fast, that really is hurting. You're not working your advantage. So, you need to have him go on a 5-step drop, 7-step drop, so you can try to hit his ass. If he just gonna dink and dunk right down the field, that works to their offensive game plan, trying to get the ball out of his hands, so he don't have to have a JPP coming on the blind side. So, what a matchup!
Yeah, all right. So, I don't know, man. Again, from a personal perspective, for me, I guess I'm rolling with the Chiefs, but I got 2 former Steelers on each side of this. I got Le'Veon and Antonio Brown, which 3 years ago somebody would have told you they were playing in the Super Bowl with anybody other than the Steelers, and they would both be like fourth string players, third string players. It'd be so weird to say. So it'll be interesting to see if they can touch the ball enough to make plays. And it'll just be good to like watch this game and have. I mean, of course, I don't want to see Tom Brady win another championship, but if he does, it ain't with the Patriots, so I don't care. This should be a good game. So, with that being said, Thomas Stevens, who you got, and give me a score.
Oh man, to be honest, I'm kind of rooting for the Bucks. I'm rooting for Bruce Arians, but I don't think they're gonna win. So I'll give Kansas City 28-24.
Okay. All right. Al, same thing. Give me who you got, why, and the score.
So it's hard to go against Tampa Bay. I mean, with Tom Brady as the quarterback and with a pass rush advantage. But I'm a go with the young boy. I think the explosiveness of that offense with Kansas City is going to be the advantage. And I also think this is the beginning of a new chapter, this new book of the new era. And when I say beginning, like, because he won last, so now that new era of this is the Mahomes era, and we are. I think part of this era is going to be he's going to be just, I took out the GOAT. That was part of my story. I matched up with the GOAT, and his last time in the Super Bowl or something like that. I whooped him, and I think Mahomes is just going to be the new GOAT. And this is it. This is how it starts. I won last year, and I'm gonna win it again this year, beating Tom Brady. And I think actually the Tom Brady story, even, I mean, if this was a movie, this is the better ending of it. Like that, he this is the better movie where he doesn't win at the end. It's just, he had great success, but as the story winds down, in true football fashion,
Father Time won again.
Father Time wins again. Like that's how the movie's supposed to end. He undefeated. He undefeated player. Even the GOAT couldn't beat him. So, yeah.
Wow. All right. Cool. All right. Again, like I said, I'm going with the Chiefs too. It's totally, again, my heart's out of it. So my head is telling me Chiefs. I'll go Kansas City.
Did I give a score?
Did you? That's what I was about to say. Al, did you give a score? Good.
35-31. 35-31.
Okay. I don't think it'll be. I think it'll be relatively close. I don't think it'll be within a touchdown. So I'm going to say 31-21, Kansas City. Sorry, Bucks fans. We love you anyway.
Word. I just hope it's exciting. I hope we are right with the score, meaning it's a lot of points. But you just never know in these types of games. But I'm hoping exciting game.
True. And of course, if any of our scores come true, Pat Mahomes will probably be MVP. So,
oh yeah,
that many points and they win. Yeah, probably so. All right. So we're gonna move on to the NBA like we always do. But before we do, we're gonna jump into a commercial, and we'll be right back with you.
We're told that greatness is exceptional when it should be expected. You choose every day to live your life intentionally, without apology for how bright your light may shine. So go be great. Go be brilliant. Go be you. Go defy life. The Defy Life movement is one that speaks to each of us in its own way. Defy Life gear speaks to us all by reminding us that one size does not fit all. Visit defylifegear.com to get fitted for greatness.
Welcome back. This is episode 186 of the Defy Life podcast. It's J.R. Glamp here with Alvin Glamp, Thomas Stevens. Guys, we just previewed Super Bowl 55. And like we've been doing for the NBA, again, there's so many games, so much stuff going on. We just want to check in with a team or two every week and kind of give a state of the franchise. So what I decided to do, since we're all back together for the first time this new year, is check on you guys' teams. So I want to give a state of the franchise, Al, with your Knicks. Since we're not talking Lakers at this point, it's too early.
That's all right.
We know they're gonna be involved later in the season. There'll be plenty of Lakers talk to have. But I wanted to shine some light on two teams that are young and flying under the radar and trying to find their footing. And they also happen to be playing back-to-back games this week against each other. So, Al, we'll do your Knicks, and then Pooh will do your Bulls. Al, what state of the franchise? What are the Knicks up to these days?
Well, I'm glad we talking about the Knicks early because there's no guarantee with the Knicks that we're going to have positive stuff to talk about a month or two from now. So as there is good stuff to talk about now, I'm glad we bringing up the Knicks. I mean, I think with the Knicks, I think we are in a very good place on the rebuild process. And so, I think we got to acknowledge that's where this franchise is. We have a new coach in Thibodeau, and already you see the difference in how they play, the ball sharing, the defense, attention to detail. It is very, very different. So I think from a coach perspective, we feel good. I think the other part of the rebuild, when you're trying to rebuild the NBA franchise, is you want potential superstars. That's really what you're hoping you can see in development. And I think too early to say the Knicks have superstars on their team, but I do think it's appropriate to say that we have future all-stars on our team. And you look at Julius Randle, who might be an all-star this year if the Knicks could ever start winning again.
Right. He better be, man. That dude balling out of control.
He's balling. And but the NBA, I think they do it right. If there's so many players who can put up points, they typically reward the player who put up points and winning. And so I'm okay with that. So they need to start winning so he can get credit for his points and production. RJ Barrett has definitely improved from his rookie year to now. Very consistent, aggressive scorer that I think another 2 years, which he would be 21, 22, I could see him putting up 22, 23 points a game. So I'm looking forward to seeing his development. His outside game is definitely getting better. So is his defense, and he is definitely their second scorer behind Julius Randle. I like the way they are approaching this season. And then the other thing that you gotta like if you're a Knicks fan is the rookie that are on the squad. And so everybody's talking about new point guard quickly out of Kentucky, coming off the bench. Any night he could put 15, 20 points up off the bench. And, if you can get that type of production out of a guard coming off the bench, that's definitely a positive. Definitely great shooter, free throw and 3-point shooter, and very poised. So again, we might have solved our point guard situation going forward. And Obi Toppin has been solid. I mean, he's had up and down, but he's been hurt, and he's playing behind Julius Randle, so he's not getting a lot of burn. But I like what I see, and I think so. From a Knicks fan, if you're willing to be patient as we are adding talent and we got more draft picks and maybe sign a free agent, I think the outlook is bright, which for Knicks fans haven't been able to say that last few years. So definitely I think we're in a good place.
No doubt. And for the Knicks currently stand 9-13, and they are in the 11th spot, 1.5 game behind the 10th seeded currently Chicago Bulls. So Pooh, what is the your Bulls are currly 8-11. So again, sitting in the 10th spot currently in the East. What's the state of the franchise with Chicago Bulls?
Man, we're young. We're extremely young. I think we're lacking a lot on D. I think we have a few explosive players, Marketing came back off of his injury, just absolute balling. He's probably off his injury, he's probably averaging about 28. Mm-hmm. Every time I look up, he's dropped 30. Since he come back. But Zach, he's been an absolute animal since the year begun. So, I think it's gonna be a travesty. I don't think he's gonna be an all-star, especially with the move with Harden moving over. I think Harden's gonna. It was probably one vacant spot where Zach could have got it, but when Harden came over, that eclipsed that. So he's not gonna get that spot. The young kid Williams out of North Carolina. Well, he born in North Carolina, lived in North Carolina, but he's out of Florida State. Went to Florida State. He's playing well. I like what he looks like. We just have, I don't know, man. We just have a lot of herky jerkiness out of from what I'm seeing. I guess Donovan is trying to find a good mix. And Kobe he's playing well. Mm-hmm. It's just it's something that we're missing, and I really can't really put a finger on. We score points. We do score points. However, we're just not defending well. We just need to buy in on D. But like I said, we have a really, really good young nucleus with Zach and Marketing and Williams and Kobe. That's pretty solid. And the kid, I think his name is Goddard. He's explosive. I think maybe it's hard to get him in there when we're playing Williams and Marketing at the 4 and 5. But with Goddard in there, he's probably our best defender on the team. He if he started, he probably could be a 2.5, 2.8, almost 3 blocks a game guy. I think the guy probably has like a 42-inch vertical. He's a ridiculous athlete. He dunks everything. But, man, like I said, I just can't. We just don't have a – Zach is really, really good. Markin is really, really good. But we just don't have that. We don't have that superstar. But we got – like I said, those two guys can get buckets on anyone. And with the shot clock running down or the game on the line, give it to Zach. And I feel extremely confident that Zach's going to come through with a bucket. I don't think he gets the praise that he deserves. He just don't get that recognition. Because we lose. All we do is lose.
I'm saying you're right around 500, man. But
I mean, that's that month and a half in the season. You know?
Yeah, I agree. Zach definitely doesn't get the praise he deserves, especially considering that he's kind of with his flashy style. Like he can be flashy, and his athleticism. You think he get more attention, but
more pub, right?
All right. Maybe it's because he light skinned. Maybe
it could be.
Yeah, it's that. Stop playing light skin, Zach. Oh man, well yeah, that's cool, man. I just want to check in, with both of your teams because we tend, especially in the NBA, again, there's so many things going on, so many teams playing, so many games every week. It's not like the NFL. We can focus on so many different teams that it's easy to just get trapped in this. This Lakers, Clippers, Heat conversation every week. So I want to hear something different about the league that's going on. So we'll do that every week, y'all. Let's check in with a different franchise or two.
Can I say one thing about the league before we move on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bradley Beal is a problem.
Bradley Beal is a problem, and see, you about to lead down this road. The Lakers about to get him.
Hey, I hope not. God, I hope not.
I watch. I don't even know if I hope they do, but I think they are.
What could y'all possibly give up to get Bradley Beal? He's leading the league in scoring, for crying out loud.
I'm saying, didn't somebody just get James Harden for next to nothing?
Well, and that's true. And that's true.
Good. And that's comeback.
7 first-round pick. Like that's gonna matter,
All right, like. If that's the thing about the NBA, if a team wants a player, they'll find a way to get him.
They'll find a way to get him. That's
especially true. If that player wants to be moved, it'll happen.
Man, I do not want y'all to get no Bradley Beal, man. That'll be uncool.
And like I said, I don't even know if I want it to happen just for that reason. Like, I don't even know if I want that to happen. I won't complain, but I mean, for one, then it's really gonna be it's gonna be like we going back to this last. We talked about this over the last couple years, where it's been big like duos in the league, like dynamic duos instead of big threes. And now Brooklyn is back in the big three game, and that will put the Lakers back in the big three game, and it would just be we just be on this conversation of who has the best big three, the Nets or the Lakers. Meanwhile, the Nets are barely 500. They ain't even found a way to make this shit work yet. But it's the fact that they got this big three that makes everybody talk about them. So that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that this shit ain't gonna work. So, but again, we talked about this before as well. There's there's a benefit of having a LeBron and an AD and bringing in a Bill versus having a Durant and Kyrie and bringing in a Harden. Where as far as finding ways to make it work and winning and chemistry, so I think there's a better chance of it working in LA, but it hasn't worked in Brooklyn yet. Not stats wise, it has, but not and not in wins and losses.
Right.
No, not yet.
It's coming though.
Al, what would you think about Bradley Beal in the Lakers uniform?
Wow, that would be awesome. It would seal the deal.
Yeah, it would.
I still think, I still think we the best in the West and without him, but yeah, again, the competitor in me feels like this ain't even fair. But the Laker fan in me is like, catch this smoke.
Right.
I don't. If he goes there, I just think it'll dampen his shine, man. To me, I just think so.
Who shine? His shine?
Bradley. Yeah.
Think about it. He would now get.
Could play on the biggest stage.
The biggest stage, the shots that he's going to get are going to to me, he's not going to take shots away from LeBron and AD. He's going to take shots away from everybody else.
Right.
It's really, if LeBron not shooting, if AD not shooting, we want him shooting. Yeah, I don't have to shoot the ball no more.
And that's the thing. We talked about this before. Is LeBron. When we look at this whoever's on your GOAT list, LeBron's probably the most reluctant on that list, scoring wise. And even currently, him and AD are probably the most reluctant superstars. We're taking over a game by scoring. So having a guy like Bill who don't want nothing but buckets, he ain't taking shots away from it. It ain't like LeBron gonna be like, I ain't getting enough shots. Because LeBron gonna get his shots. AB gonna get his in the offense. Bill just gonna get buckets regardless. It ain't.
He's gonna get buckets. And one thing about Bill that's different, that he's just a flat out shooter.
Right.
That's the difference. You don't have to. He don't have to pound the ball or do whatever. You can just run him off staggered screens and whatnot and dribble and create and dish out. He's a flat out shooter, and a scorer. So
he's gonna score all those points that LeBron don't even want to score at this point in his career.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna definitely ease up the burden on him. And then just how you could set that offense up, if you got him running off of picks, and you got LeBron and AD either running pick and roll or AD in the post or LeBron in the post, man.
I don't. You got me really wanting this shit to happen now. Okay, man. Go ahead.
I don't want to see it, man. I don't want him. I don't want him in the Lakers.
But to the question of who would you give up? If I'm the Lakers, I'm like, besides those two players right there, you can take whoever else you want.
Yeah, I think in that conversation, I think they finally have to give Kuzma up on a deal.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say Kuzma and probably KCP in a first round pick.
Oh, they'll probably take about 3 or 4 first round picks.
Yeah,
But
that's
the
what.
Lakers
Yeah,
will give
so
them
a few picks,
easily.
right? It'll take
Yeah.
a few picks.
Again, take whoever you want.
But
I don't
player
care.
wise, I was give up Kuzma, KCP,
Yep,
Kuzma
yep.
and Caruso. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. KCP,
Right, whoever.
Yeah,
As long as it's not
KCP,
LeBron
KGB,
or AD.
FBI. Shit, I don't care. Lakers in
I'll
5.
give you the Laker name if you want. I don't care. You can call us the LA traffic lights from now on.
Right.
Yeah.
The basketball team. I don't give a shit.
Yo, wow.
Hey, get it right. You can take anything. Take the name. Lakers,
I don't
Takers,
care.
Fakers.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't give
it
a
was
damn.
in,
Basketball team info.
that Tina Turner movie, like, I don't care. You can take it all. Just leave my name.
Just leave my
The Lakers,
name.
the whole opposite. Look,
Right.
I don't give a what you take. You can take the name. You can take all that shit. You can take the trophies we got. I don't give a damn. Leave them two.
Right.
Give me him. It's
Hey,
a wrap.
like Magic, they want your legacy. Give it to them.
All right.
Shit.
Magic has signed the document right here.
Right.
You can have his legacy long as you send over Bill. We good.
Oh man, yeah, man. So to backtrack a little bit, like I know we mentioned the Nets, or I mentioned the Nets. What do y'all think how y'all think it's been so far? I guess that's pretty much all I can say with the Nets since they got Harden and since Kyrie's been back.
I like the fact that they got Harden running a point. I think that's the best way to do it, and I think it's something in development. They're gonna have ups and downs. They're still working it out. Harden still needs to continue to get in better shape, and so they got ways to go.
Yeah, they do. And I mean, they're not an unmitigated disaster. I mean, they are 13-9. They're third in the East. But 7-3 in their last 10. So they've been. It's just the games that they have been losing are just frustrating. And defensively, what scares you the most? But against the East, man, like I don't get all the talent goes to the East and they just remain mediocre. I don't get it. Like Milwaukee's second in the East at 12-8. They damn near 500. Like the East is, I don't know what it is about the East, man. They just want to get the stank off of them. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know either, man. It's up for grabs, and I think that's why Brooklyn had to make that move because
right,
it's up for grabs.
It is up for grabs.
I like what I see out of Brooklyn.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna gel. I think they're gonna gel. I mean, offensively, I really like what they're doing. They share. I mean, you see, KD, he defers. Kyrie, he'll go get it. Harden defers, and they just gonna have to gel on D. They're getting a lot of mismatch on D's on D. Jordan is not the defender that he once was. KD's playing defense well. Tonight I saw Harden. When it was time, he had to guard Leonard. He D'd up extremely well, but like you said, that wasn't. He didn't do that consistently, but I saw him do it once or twice because I think Leonard had like 35, but people are going to get their baskets, but I think their problem lies on the defensive end, and those guys really have to button it up, and of course they have to bring in at least 2 or 3 more bodies, serviceable bodies.
Well, they need
not
dogs.
Joe Smo.
They need
they
dogs.
brought in Iman. They bringing in Iman.
Man,
So,
but that's the thing. Like Iman is a dog. He just ain't a body no more. He can't move. Like he's not physically. He can't do what he used to be able to do. So he's a dog still. He's just not a body. He can't move. He can't guard elite players. He's what they need mentally.
I didn't know yet.
Yeah.
I didn't know yet, bro.
Yeah, I mean he's no longer like the elite like movement player he once was. He used to be a guy you could the elite you could stick him on an elite wing and at least competitive out there. He's not that guy anymore. I don't know, but you're right. The issue is on defense. At times, it look like they can't guard a parked car in Brooklyn. But again, to me, that's mentality. Like, if you got a big three. One of them dudes got to at least be willing to be a leader on D. And I think this is the one spot where the injury and the recovery is showing up for KD is on defense. He's not able to move laterally like he did. And again, still early. It may come back, but it may not. But there's, he's so long and skilled on the offensive end. He always finds ways, even if he is a half a step slower, to still be the best player on offense. Defensively, where I think you can kind of see a difference. He can't move as laterally and as quickly as he used to. He can't explode like he did. That may come back. We don't know. But I just know with your three best players choosing when they want to play defense, that ain't gonna get you to the playoffs. Not through the playoffs. It'll get you to the playoffs, not through it.
Right.
And shout out to Fred Van Vliet. Big Fred. Y'all know what Fred did today?
What did Fred do today?
Fred put up 54. Fred dropped 54 and broke the franchise record for points scored. Shout out to Big Fred. Yeah. Told y'all.
No doubt. Fred.
I tell y'all 2 years ago about Fred Van Vliet. Y'all ain't want to hear me.
I wasn't hearing you.
Shout out to light skinned Fred.
I wasn't listening, but yeah, light skinned Fred doing his thing.
Fred, right? Oh man, Al. Well, no, not yet. I ain't gonna get to trivia yet because we have a listener question. And shout out to our listener question last week for bringing up Matthew Stafford in the listener question, and Stafford gets traded 4 days later. So it was really like 2 weeks later, but we ain't do a show in 2 weeks. So shout out to our listener question. But I'm excited to see what the Rams can do with Matt Stafford and what Matt Stafford can do on a legit playoff team. I'm excited about that.
I think so too. I think he's still talented. He gonna have weapons. Playing with a good defense, running game. I think we're gonna see the best of Stafford.
Yeah. Right. All right. So our listener question this week comes from LaToya in Charlotte. Shout out to LaToya. And again, y'all, we love these questions. Y'all keep sending them to us. Y'all, our listeners are so damn dope. But hit us up on social media at Go Defy Life on all platforms, or you can email us at info@godefylife.com to ask us a question, get something off your chest, or just shoot us down about something you disagree with that we said. So LaToya wants to know, again, LaToya from Charlotte, shout out. Now that they have a biopic, what is Salt and Pepper's legacy in hip-hop? And I don't think she means that you need a biopic to have a legacy, but I think she wants to know, like not since everybody else is getting them shit, they got one. Tell us what you think Salt and Pepper's legacy is. Al, you are our resident hip-hop historian here. What is your thoughts? What is Salt and Pepper's legacy in hip hop in your mind?
Wow. So, I have not seen the biopic, but I've heard good things about it that it's worth watching. So I'm gonna check it out.
Damn good, actually.
I heard it was. I have nothing but love for Salt and Pepper. Coming out of Queens, I'm from Queens. Definitely represented the borough well. When you talk about their legacy, man, their legacy is, one, they are the first female MCs who took the sexuality, brought sexuality into it, not necessarily in a raunchy way, but still bringing sexuality into hip hop, where one, it was hard enough just kind of making noise as a female rapper back then, but to do it in a way that you weren't looked at in a trashy way, but more in a I'm gonna claim my own sexuality way.
Right.
A real empowered approach to it, not an exploited approach to it, but an empowered approach to sexuality. I think that was, and just an empowered approach to womanhood. I think they represented that from the MC rapper perspective. I also think their legacy is going to be about really they the first big female group in rap, and at a time when there were other big groups, but they were all male, they came with the female, took that female spot and held it down for a few years. So they got to give them that. They were able to cross over. And I'm not even talking about necessarily cross over to white folk. I'm just crossing over to mainstream black folk. Like,
and to men.
And to men as well, right? So they had that crossover appeal that I don't think people really appreciated. Got a classic with Push It, a few classics. But and I think the last one that to me, I would love to have somebody check it out. But to my memory, they have the first remix ever, and to have that in hip hop history, I think is also worth noting because it's nothing but remixes now. And to my recollection, they had the first one. So congratulations, they've been in the game. They was one of the first to do it, and glad to see that their story is being told. Great question.
Yeah. And shout out to Herbie Lovebug, who, I mean, although he's one of the premier assholes in hip hop history, he's a total douchebag, but he also is maybe like on the level of a Puffy or or that kind of, or Suge Knight. And he's that kind of visionary to be that early and to spot talent like Salt and Pepper and Kid Play and to corral them under his crew. So shout out to Herbie Lovebug, man.
Correct. Before and before a Puffy,
before,
like,
right?
So
it did it first, right? Exactly. So one of the more underrated talent evaluators, producers in hip hop history.
No doubt.
Pooh, what's your thoughts, man? What's what's Salt and Pepper's legacy in hip hop for you?
I think Salt and Pepper pretty much entrenched, even with the biopic, man. It just not even women group, but just groups, period. Like Salt and Pepper, name ring bells.
Right.
Icons, classic, vintage. So Salt and Pepper, they did their thing. It's a few things I learned that I didn't know. I didn't know about Salt and Pepper, but I thought the biopic was extremely dope. But like I say, man, Salt and Pepper is just, when you just name any group, you can name Salt and Pepper and it fits in seamless. So that's how entrenched and dope, Salt and Pepper are and were.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And, I always say, like, we get in these conversations and we've agreed not to have certain, like, GOAT conversations on this show. I think it's done us well. But I always say, if you are included in those conversations, it's an honor. Because at some point you got to start picking nits and it just gets ugly and it gets messy. So Salt and Pepper's in those conversations of, best hip hop groups, best hip hop duos of all time or groups, best female MCs. They're in those conversations. So definitely an honor. Right. And whether you get to those conversations and however you decide to fight it out, fine, do that. But the fact that they're in those conversations speaks heavy. So shout out to Salt and Pepper.
Right.
That's what's up.
No doubt. So appreciate it, LaToya. Keep listening. Proud to have listeners like you who ask questions that mean some shit, and we can really give a true answer on them. So I love our listeners, man. LaToya, shout out to you, and shout out Charlotte. Al, you ready for some trivia?
No doubt, no doubt,
Yep.
no doubt.
All right.
Okay, let's get it, right? So we have a total of y'all will have 13 questions apiece. We have 4 categories.
Okay.
They each have different number of questions in those categories. So the first category is too black, too strong. There's only one question there. And that question is really, I just came up with that name because it's Black History Month, but it's really just it's one question, and it's just a famous person with the last name Black. That's
Okay.
The next set of questions is Black History Sports Edition. 13 questions in that category.
Okay.
Third category is same old Black facts, which are just some Black history trivia, same old stuff. Ain't nothing new Black history. This is the same old Black history, just 7 questions like that. Okay. And then the last one is Super Bowl time, so I had to come up with something Super Bowl related. And this one is called Big Game Passer. And it's 5 questions in that category, and they all deal with quarterbacks in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So there are multiple double points, like where you can double up on those. I'm just kind of randomly put them out there. There's like 1, 2, 3. I think I count 4.
Okay.
All right. So you got too black, too strong, Black History Sports, same old Black facts, Big Game Passer.
Are there different point levels, or they all?
So they're all. Great question. Right? They are all the. So too black, too strong is worth 5 points, but there's only one question there. Everyone else, as you go from 1 to 13, they are worth whatever number whatever number that question is. I tried to put them in. What do you call it? Difficulty, sort them by difficulty, so that the easiest is the first question. Sometimes I don't do it that way, but this time I tried. And same old Black facts is 1 to 7, and it's worth 1 through 7.
Okay.
And same thing with Big Game Passer.
Okay, cool.
All right. Anybody remember who won the last time?
I don't know. Pooh can go first, though.
Okay. Pooh, it's on you. What you gonna do?
Big Game Passer. Before you say go to 7.
1 through 5.
5.
5. Okay. What 2 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks share the NFL record for touchdowns without an interception in an entire postseason with 11? So these 2 Super Bowl quarterbacks went throughout the whole postseason without throwing a pick and had 11 touchdowns.
Let me try. I'm just throw it out there. I don't have a clue. Well, let me try Peyton Manning, Tom Brady.
Joe Flacco and Joe Montana.
Joe and Joe.
Joe and Joe.
All right. What was the one question for 7?
Too black, too strong. It's worth 5 points.
Let me get too black, too strong for $1 million.
This is not the lottery, my brother. Okay, so again, this person, last name is Black. He's an American former professional baseball player, and he's currently the manager of the Colorado Rockies. And when he was a player, he was a pitcher. 5.
What is his last name?
4,
Uh,
2,
Rob,
1.
Bud Black.
Bud Black is
Bud
it.
Black.
Bud Black is it.
Yes.
Wow. Bless
Got one to call him Rob.
Almost. That would have been wrong.
I
So
know.
glad you said Bud. What you got?
not. Let me get quarterbacks for 4.
Quarterbacks for 4. Okay. Who became the first left-handed quarterback to win a Super Bowl when his Raiders defeated the Vikings? 5, 4, 3,
Raiders. Who was that? Fran Tarkenton?
Yes.
That would be incorrect.
He beat Fran Tarkenton.
That would be the correct answer. Is Kenny the Snake Stabler?
Stabler. Kenny Stabler. Yeah.
Raiders.
Yeah. Fran Tarkenton was on the Vikings. He was on the other team.
Vikings.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was right-handed.
Randy was right-handed. Right. Oh, man.
We're not going to bring that up.
But we did.
So good.
Let me get what was it? Black sports trivia
Okay. 1 through 13.
for. Let me get 13.
13.
Yeah. That's what's up.
He was the first African American to play in the Masters tournament.
Oh,
5,
shit, I forgot his name.
4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't know. Tiger Woods. I know that ain't right. I forgot to do his name.
Would be Lee Elder.
Lee Elder. Damn it. Yeah.
Lee Elder.
Bagger Vance.
Back.
Will Smith. That would not be the
Hey, let me get the same thing for 12.
Okay. She was the first black woman to win an Olympic gold medal at the 1948 Summer Olympic Games in the high jump competition.
Bro, I stink. Who is it? I don't know.
Alice Coachman.
Alice Coachman.
They never heard of her, but that's the answer to the question.
Wow.
Alice Coachman.
Alice Coachman. We teach on the show.
Right.
1948 Summer Olympic Games in the high jump competition, and she was also the first African American woman to be selected to the U.S. Olympic team.
Nice.
Any sport. Alice Coachman.
Okay. All right.
Hey, which way
Same
you go?
category. Same category. 411.
Okay.
No, matter of fact, where do we end off? Where are we on big time passers?
3, I think.
Big time fat. Right. The highest one would be 3.
Let me get big time passers for 3. I want the touchdown
Big
before it
time
went away.
passers for 3. Yeah. This is a double point.
Oh, word.
Wow.
And yeah. Okay. What New England quarterback became the first quarter? No, I'm sorry. Let me go back. What New England quarterback became the first starter in Super Bowl history to fail to complete a pass? 5, 4.
Oh man, what was
3,
this?
2, 1.
It was
Okay, that'll be
I can't remember. It was against the
correct
Bears.
answer. Tony Eason.
Tony Eason, yeah,
Against the Chicago Bears.
against the Bears, yeah.
Okay. What all we have left? I mean, what categories?
So you have in big game passer, you have 1 and 2. You still have same old black facts. That's 1 through 7. 1 through 11 with Black History Sports, and 2 Black Too Strong is gone.
I mean, Black History Facts for 7, man. I gotta get on the board.
Okay. 7. He was the first black man to become a lawyer when he passed the bar in Ohio in 1854.
In 1854.
just for not that it's going to help because I don't think you're going to get this guy. So let me just count it down first, and then I'll give you some other interesting things about him. But 5.
That was a long time ago.
3 was a long time ago. 2.
Yeah. Let me go Thomas DuBose.
Thomas DuBose, the great uncle of W.E.B. Du Bois, was not a lawyer. He was a pediatrician. John Mercer Langston was the first black man to become a lawyer. He was also the great uncle of Langston Hughes.
Oh, wow.
Famous poet.
That's nice.
He was one of the first brothers to ever be elected to public office as well. John Mercer Langston. But yeah, again, we try to teach here as well at the Defy Life.
Appreciate it.
No doubt.
What you got?
Oh man, yo, that was funny. I thought
Crazy.
Pooh would name the kid from the Boondocks. The next door neighbor, the light skinned cat that lived across the street.
Oh, that guy. Magnificent.
Right. Oh shit. Let me go. Oh shit. Let me get. I gotta touch it. Let me go. Great passes for 2.
Great passes for 2.
Or big game passes for 2.
Big game passes for 2. So Dallas's Larry Brown was the MVP of Super Bowl 30. Ironically, the
This question
Steelers
got a bad
quarterback
taste in my mouth.
he picked off twice was once the NFL career leader in interception percentage. Who would that guy be?
I gotta say his name. I vowed to myself I'd never say this man's name again in my life.
Yeah, I had to say it.
But if
I'm
it
not
helps
gonna
me
count down
beat
'cause I know
Pooh,
you know his name.
if it helped me beat Pooh, damn it,
You're
I'll
going to
say it. Neil O'Donnell. Good God.
Neil O'Donnell is it.
I was just introducing my 11-year-old son to the legacy of Neil O'Donnell yesterday. Jesus Christ. Okay. Let's move on. Pooh, who you going?
Give me big game for 1. I got to get on the board, man.
Who was the first player in NFL history to start at quarterback in the Super Bowl for 2 different teams? 5,
Super Bowl
4,
2
3,
different teams.
2,
They didn't
1.
make it. Yep. I'm blank.
It would be Craig Morton,
Wow.
quarterback of the Denver Broncos, and also the Dallas Cowboys when Roger Staubach got hurt.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Let me go black sports trivia for, what we at, 10?
The highest one is 11.
11. We'll go 11.
The first African American to play in the National Hockey League was
Oh, shit.
5. And I've covered this guy on this show before.
I know you have.
5,
I can't remember his name.
4,
I'm just going to say Jerome
3.
McGinley. I know I'm wrong, but at least he's black.
Jerome McGinley, great brother who played for the Calgary Flames.
All right.
Was not the first brother to play in the NHL. Maybe like the 12th, but
Right.
still, shout out to Jerome Ing. The gentleman's name is Willie O'Ree.
Willie O'Ree. You've talked about him
Willie.
so many times.
Willie O'Ree. Okay, what you got? Pooh.
So that's
Just
all we have
for
left.
the record, we are 5 questions in, and the score is 7-0.
Thanks. What?
Just for the listeners, not for y'all, because I know y'all paying attention. Just for the listeners.
That's all we have left.
So you got same old black facts, 1 through 6. Then Black History Sports, 1 through 10.
Black History of Sports for 3. Let me get on the board.
You keep saying that. The first black athlete to win a medal at the Winter Olympics was Winter Olympics.
Winter, bro.
5. She was a figure
I don't-
skater. 5.
Bigger, scared,
4.
black. I can't even name a black figure skater.
3.
Give me the good. Give me the goods, man. I don't know. Give me the goods.
Debbie Thomas.
Debbie Thomas.
I don't remember Debbie Thomas.
I remember Debbie Thomas, yeah.
She
Thomas
fell in the Winter Olympics. Yeah. Yes, she was. She was supposed to win the gold, ends up falling, does not win the gold, but still medals. An amazing figure skater. Yeah.
Debbie Thomas. Wow.
Debbie Thomas. Okay.
All right. Let me go Black Sports Trivia for 10.
The first black athlete to win a Grand Slam tournament.
In any sport?
Well, Grand Slam is just tennis.
I'm thinking about
tennis.
Oh, I was thinking about golf. What's that? The Grand?
What they call those?
I don't know, but yeah, we're talking about.
Okay, 5.
Hope that's an indication you're getting it wrong.
4.
Shit.
2.
That's Charlie Sifford.
No, but he made a good wine.
Oh man,
out of the Detroit wineries. This athlete would be the great Althea Gibson.
Oh, Althea Gibson. Okay.
Won the French Open in 1956 and then went on to win 4 more Grand Slam tournaments.
Wow.
After tennis, she moved on to golf and was the first African American on the LPGA Tour in 1963. That was a double question, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Okay. All right. Give me, I got to get on the board, man.
Give me still a game. It's still a game. Don't get, we still got a shot. Go ahead.
Give me something for 1, man. Give me,
Black History Sports for 1.
I don't really know if I like this Black History. What's the next one?
Wow. Same old Black Facts for 1.
Same old. Give me same old Black Facts for 3. Let me get on the board.
See, you should have took 1. Let's see what we got. Okay. What is recognized as the oldest HBCU in the United States? 5, 4, 3, 2.
Bethune-Cookman. I want to say Morris Brown, but Bethune-Cookman.
It would be Cheney University in Pennsylvania. Originally called the Institute for Colored Youth, was founded in 1837. Cheney.
Okay.
That was a question on one of the trivia battlegrounds.
That is correct.
Gina got that question, actually.
Oh, really? Wow.
All right, Jay, where you headed?
Let me go same old Black Facts for 5.
Okay. She was the first African American woman elected to the House of Representatives. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Josephine Haynes? I don't know. Where's her name?
Josephine Haynes. The correct answer is Shirley Chisholm.
Oh, who was it? Shirley Chisholm. Damn it, I was going to say Shirley Chisholm.
Elected in 1968, represented the state of New York, and she also broke ground again 4 years later when she was the first major party African American candidate, first female candidate for president, first African American and the first female president. Candidate for president, Shirley Chisholm.
Okay.
All right.
Man, give me something for 1. I got it on the board. Give me
We'll go same old Black Facts for 1.
Yeah, give me that for 1. Give me that for 1.
She is the first black vice president.
Oh, Kamala Harris.
Ding, ding, ding. On the board.
My man. Give me on the board.
The big brain on Pooh.
For those who didn't know, she's the first woman of African American or Asian descent to become vice president So
Let's go.
congratulations.
Nice again.
Now it's a
Nice
game. You back in
Nice
it,
again.
Pooh. You back in it.
All right, let me get back. Black sports trivia for what's the highest? 9?
9.
9, yeah.
He was the first African American to referee. Oh, this is a double point game. First African American to referee a Super Bowl game. 5, 4, 3,
What's his name?
2, 1.
Johnny Greer.
Johnny Greer. No.
No, damn it.
Mike Carey.
Mike Carey. Damn it, I always get.
Mike Carey is the correct
It's
answer.
the mustache, man.
That dude.
That dude. Johnny Greer.
All right.
Mustache.
1, 2, 3, 5 more questions left apiece. Pooh, which
Give
way
me
you
the
at?
other joint. Give me the other joint for 1.
He was the first African American quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
First African American
5.
quarterback. Bro, I went blank.
3,
Oh, wow. Doug
2.
Williams.
Tripping. I was gonna clown you
Right.
Right.
for a minute. I already put the points in and everything. I'm like,
Oh, man.
Hey, I went blank. Immediately.
All right.
After you fast forward.
Man, let me go black sports trivia for 3. What was that? I don't know, whichever put one
He just
up.
did-
Next. He did what?
he did 1. 3's already taken.
Okay.
But
Let me get
you can do 2, 4, 5, 6, or 7.
yeah, let me get for 2.
First African American general manager of a National Football League team.
Ozzie Newsome.
That would be Ozzie Newsome. Go ahead, Pooh.
All right. So it is 9-2.
That is correct. And what's left is Black History Sports. You got 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then in same old Black Facts, you got 1 and you got 2 and 4.
Give me the highest thing on the board. That what you said for 8.
8. The first African American to coach an NBA team was.
Was it Lenny Wilkins?
That would be incorrect.
Bill.
That would be Bill Russell, who coached the
Bill
Celtics.
Russell, are you kidding me? What are you thinking about? He was a coach player, right?
Yes, he was in 1966.
Kidding me.
All right.
Oh,
And
that was mine.
yeah, that was 8 points.
Yeah.
So okay, what you got?
Now I'm mad because I stopped going for the high ones and went for the low one, and I knew that one. Let me go on back then. Let me go for that same category for 7.
For 7. She was once known as the fastest woman alive. She has records in the 100 and 200 meters that still haven't been broken for almost 30 years. 5.
Flo Joe.
That would be
Flo's
Flo
Terrific Joint.
Joe. Yes, it is.
Well, I knew that one. What do we have? 6?
6, 5, and 4 in Black History Sports. And then 2 and 4 in same old Black Facts.
Give me 6.
He was the first black male to win a Grand Slam title in tennis.
I'm going to
5.
jump up there and say Arthur Ashe.
That would be correct.
All right. Let me go same category for who we have.
4 and 5.
5.
5. He was the first African American world heavyweight boxing champion. 5.
Jack Johnson.
That would be Jack Johnson. It had during his career, he had 104 wins and 13 losses.
Right. Bare knuckle, 20 rounds apiece.
That dude fucked his ass.
Hell yeah.
Hey,
Woo,
so Jack,
117 fights.
And left every
Fight
match with
20 rounds apiece.
Right. And left every match with a different white woman on his arm. That's what I'm talking about, Jack.
Jack Johnson. That's what they man. If I name me Jack Johnson, that's what I want. My next life. That's what name me Jack Johnson. That's what my
really.
Jack is it Jack Johnson or is it some Robinson that's recorded with the hardest punch in history? What they say that he punched a guy and the guy's teeth was in the gloves. Who was that?
Dang.
That must have been somebody else because Jackie had no gloves. Jack was bare knuckle.
Yeah.
I think later in his career they start fighting with gloves. I don't know. Shit.
One of them guys. Okay, give me four in that.
Okay, 4 is a double pointer.
Let's go.
The first African American pitcher to pitch in the World Series was
no clue.
5, 4, 3.
I'm gonna say
2.
I'm gonna say Sandy Koufax. That's a white guy.
That is a white guy.
It's a Jewish guy, yeah.
So, as far as I know, I never met Sandy Koufax.
He wasn't a black Jew.
But I'm pretty sure he wasn't a black Jew. So, you could, contest this. If you wanna, go to the videotape and contest this, on that one, I'm not sure, but I don't think he was African American. But the correct answer would be Satchel Paige.
Oh, Satchel Paige.
Satchel Paige.
I he didn't play in the big leagues.
Huh?
I thought he played in the Negro League. Yeah?
He did, but he was about 50 years old once he finally got into the right. It was still an all-star.
Okay. Wow.
Also, hold on. Let me correct myself. There's 3 left in same old black facts. 2, 4, and 6.
All right.
There's still 3 questions left.
Let me get the 6.
She was the first African American performer to win an Academy Award. 5.
Man, what was her name?
3.
Was it Moms Mabley? What Moms Mabley? No, what was her name?
Mom was a comedian.
Right.
This was Hattie McDaniel.
Hattie McDaniel.
From Gone with the Wind.
Right.
No, maybe. Google her, young listeners. She's pretty fun.
Yes, she was.
You got 2 and 4 left. Okay.
Give me 4 then.
4. This gentleman was our first senator. So he was the first African American ever elected to United States Senate. He represented the state of Mississippi. Which says a lot, yo.
Right.
I feel bad not knowing this one.
Yeah. You want the answer?
Yeah.
Hiram Rhodes Revels.
Wow. What year was that?
Hiram. 1870.
Wow.
5 years after slavery ended in Mississippi, our first senator was elected. That just shows you why Reconstruction,
right?
Like what they started doing in terms of the Jim Crow and all of that, why that was happening, because blacks was voting.
Right. And it was just funny. I was watching this thing today on Stacey Abrams, this documentary on, I think on Amazon, on Prime. But they was just one of the facts that they were talking about was at that point during Reconstruction, within 10 years of slavery ending, there were, and I think it was in the state of Mississippi, there were I think 87% of black people were registered to vote. And by the time Jim Crow started, within a year of Jim Crow, there were 3% of black people registered to vote because of all the shit they put in the game.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Interesting.
And,
Very interesting.
and 0 black elected officials.
So it went from almost 90% to less than 5.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's astronomical. Actually, that's wow.
All right, Jay. Last one would be same old black facts for 2. This gentleman was the first African American ever appointed to United States Supreme Court.
Thurgood Marshall.
Thurgood Marshall, also known as my brother's hero.
That is right. Yep. That's
Darren is a big Thurgood Marshall fan.
You know what I would love to see? Keon and Darren in a conversation about Thurgood Marshall. That would be great.
That would be. Somehow I think my brother would stop talking.
Right.
You know what? I can't do this. Good job, fellas. If those you weren't keeping score, JR, you won.
All right. Kind of figured that.
I'm from brother rules because we don't need to go through the score. Hey.
Nah, we're good. Good game, Pooh.
So, what was it? 20-5 or something?
29-8.
29-8. Okay.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Hey, what's up?
No. I'm sorry, I can't see. 29-8. No. What did I say? 29-8. Yeah. 29-8.
Yeah, it's like a bad. You had one bad Sunday. You threw 3 picks. I got a pick 6, and it's a bad Sunday, man. 29-8 was fine. Get ready for next week.
You're right.
Sound like you got smoked.
Ice up, son.
Yeah, I'm just chilling.
Oh man, Al, man, you hosted, bro.
Yes.
What's your parting shot? What you got for me?
Yo, okay. So my parting shot is just an observation. So last night Lakers was in town. LeBron got into this interaction with the woman that's now being referred to as courtside Karen. And so when I heard the name courtside Karen, I guess I just looked at her as because she was getting into this argument with LeBron. That's they just call her Karen, just the typical white woman. But then when I was reading the articles this morning, and then I haven't seen it, but heard her what she said about him in terms of her initial description of what happened, like she's accusing him of calling her a bitch.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so now I'm wondering, is she being called? And then then deletes the Snapchat post and has apologized or just basically said things got out of hand and really has taken it down a notch. But I'm like, yo, is she really being called? Is the Karen phrase even more applicable in that she has falsely accused this man as a way of getting sympathy for herself? Because I find it hard to believe that LeBron James would be one calling somebody a bitch just like willy-nilly in an NBA game. But 2, if he had done it, it wouldn't be on ESPN mic'd up or like that. He would be getting ridiculed right now in this Me Too era of this is just so inappropriate. I find it hard to believe that would have happened and we not hear about it and read about it for the last 24 hours in this news cycle. So therefore, is this another example of somebody falsely using the phrases and what would have worked in years past, and they just rely, let me try to get some sympathy so that I'm not held accountable for my actions. And that is just so typical.
Absolutely.
Not just any white woman, but the typical, this is what some of y'all do when y'all are in the heat of the moment, he's robbing me.
Right. He whistled at me.
Was he? Did he?
Right. Yeah, and even when we don't exist, they stole my car. My kids was in there. So,
Wow.
shout out to Courtside Karen. Juliana Carlos is her real name.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that was ridiculous. And how, like, if LeBron had said that, it would be on tape because it's impossible to not hear everything somebody says at the NBA game.
Correct. And she's like, he told me, sit down, bitch. I'm like, LeBron? That doesn't even sound like LeBron.
Right. Like, you know who that is, right? Like, man. But, okay.
They would have said, if they would have said it was Boogie Cousins now, you know, I would have.
I mean, and you didn't even go outside the Lakers roster to say, somebody might have said, if they would have said Markieff Morris, I'm like, okay. Yeah, he probably did.
All right. Yeah, Dan, you can't be talking like that, Morris. You know
Right.
you can't be that, bruh.
Right.
Oh, man. That's why we need Bradley Beal.
Man.
Exactly. He would solve all of those problems.
He solve all the problems, man. Oh, Pooh,
wow.
what you got for me, man? What's your parting shot?
Man. Oh, man. My bad. Yawning, man. I just want to double back on Al with the Super Bowl party reference he made. I wouldn't advise going to one because, like Al said, that sounds like super spreader to me. Mm-hmm. However, if you do go, make sure it's your own with no one else there. But hey, be safe, man. COVID is still kicking. You know what, man. So just stay safe, man.
All right. I hope y'all know better.
Right.
Yeah, I hope so too, man. Please.
Right. And that's the shameful part of it, man, is we again, believe what you want to believe, say what you want to say, but at the end of the day, we all know this shit is real. And so protect each other, man. That's all it's gonna take. Like, just don't be stupid. I don't get it. I lost another friend this weekend, to COVID. So, like, that's the insulting part is when, at this point, it's touched everybody's life in some degree. And for you to still be in denial like this and still acting reckless, man, it ain't that serious, man. Wear a mask, please.
Please.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
Well, I ain't got nothing crazy, man. I want to give this a really, really quick shout out to Keon because I've never seen Keon, and he texted me and we text back and forth. I've never seen Keon this excited about the draft because the Falcons have a top 5 pick. So he keep texting me all kind of ideas, and I would do this. I was like, man, never seen you. And he going back and forth with dudes at work. I was like, dude, like you're killing me because usually I'm the one that's getting everybody ramped up for draft season. Like, I ain't ready for the draft that you getting me. I was like, it's too early to be looking at mock drafts and shit, man. Get off my text line with this shit. So shout out to Keon, man, for being excited about the Falcons again. Even if it's got to be through the draft and some shit that'll probably never happen. But he's, and like I said, he's convinced himself that they getting Justin Fields and they rocking out. So, I hope y'all do for his sake. So, shout out to Keon, man, for being this excited about the Falcons, because we all know this show used to be a lot more fun when Keon was excited about the Falcons versus when he just gave up on them. So there would be like weeks where he just gave up and be like, man, this ain't fun, man. But then when times when he be excited or he pissed off, either one of those, like if he was just engaged about the Falcons, it was fun. So I'm just glad he's excited about them. So shout out to Keon. Oh, man. Guys, great show, man. Y'all, thanks for listening. Al, Pooh, love you guys. Good to have you back. It's been episode 186 of the Defy Life podcast. We will talk to y'all next week. Until then, Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Welcome to the Anything, Everything, and Nothing podcast with Lynn and Kim. Join us as we discuss the latest in everything from entertainment and current events to the craziness that is our real life.
Let's laugh, let's live, let's talk about it. New episode every Tuesday on the Defy Life Podcast Network. And remember, if you're not defying life, then what are you doing? Lynn and Kim.